So, as we all know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And each week this month, we've taken some time to talk about different aspects of how mental health shows up for men. In week one, we talked about the three ways that immature men handle transitions: fight, flight, or fright. Then we discussed what are the top five triggers to your mental health. So, work, relationships, parenting, grief, and disability. In week three, we discussed what are the six common signs of how a man struggles with his mental health: emotional withdrawal, aggressive behavior, substance abuse, changes in sleep patterns, physical symptoms, and then a loss of interest or productivity. In this particular week, what I'd like to talk about in week four is what are some mental health resources that are available for men, and five in particular. And as you know, at this point, everything I discuss are things that I've experienced personally, and I'm never gonna, position myself as an expert in everything. But I do believe that I've had a lot of personal experience that I'd love to share, as well as men around me and mentors who I've engaged with who've also given me a lot of insight. So the first type of resource that's available for men are online resources. So these look like tools and tips of how to cope, right? There are a lot of websites available for this: Facebook groups, YouTube channels, articles on Medium and other platforms that you can leverage to, just as an online resource of how to cope with your mental health. Maybe you're someone who you just want to read about it, you want to find out about it, kind of dissect it on your own, and just kind of understand some of the symptoms and dive a little bit deeper from what we've discussed. Online resources can help with that. Number two would be retreats, books, podcasts. There are some excellent books on this topic if you want to dive even deeper. So for me, some of the books that I think about are: one is Getting Back to You. It's about Enneagram. So if you're familiar with that body of work, that was extremely helpful. One that I cannot wait to read. It's one book away. I have a book in front of it right now, but it's called The Mountain Is You. It's about transforming sabotage into self-mastery. So those are some books that you could read. Also retreats. It's okay to go spend some time a week, or even a weekend, a couple of days away somewhere in the mountains, somewhere that allows you to just stop, reflect on where you are, ask yourself some questions that you don't necessarily have space to be able to do on a day-to-day basis. I've been to two different retreats that I absolutely love, and so thankful that I was able to do those. One is Omega Institute. That's up in Rhinebeck, New York, so maybe about 2 hours north of the city, from what I recall. Another one is Esalen, and that's in Big Sur, California. I went there 2 years ago. That's how I celebrated my 40th, is I actually went out to Esalen. And so that's another excellent retreat center. And in those retreats, you're able to stop, pause. There is some curriculum, but it allows you to ask yourself some questions, have some mental space and energy freed up to deal with some of the things that you've been struggling with for a while in your life. Number three, peer support groups. Meetup is a great resource for this. You can meet in personal or virtual, but also there's the National Alliance on Mental Illness. They have support groups as a part of that particular organization. So you can go on their website, see different support groups and locations nearby. You can meet on a weekly basis or bi-weekly. And then also, if whatever your faith is, there's probably some study groups and men's groups at your particular place of worship that you also can take advantage of as well. So I know at my church, we have a men's group. And so that's something that's also advantageous. Number four is therapy, right? Specialized mental health professionals. There is nothing wrong with getting a therapist. There's actually a whole lot of right with it. Sometimes you need to hear your thoughts out loud and have someone repeat those things back to you, just so you can really kind of think through it and ask yourself, what mechanisms, what solutions are you coming up with? How are you dealing with your issues? How is it showing up in your life? Reflection is a good thing, and therapists can help you with that. And then number five is if it becomes urgent, if it becomes serious and you need help right now, there are mental health crisis resources. So there are helplines available where somebody's around 24/7 to help you with crisis management on site. Again, National Alliance on Mental Illness is a great place for that. But there are other websites available that show detail around those mental health crisis resources and centers that you can get help immediately. So again, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is really important to discuss these things as men. We try to be strong. We try to tough it out. We try to not talk about these things, but it is really important. It impacts us. It impacts our physical health, our mental health, our emotional well-being. social and relational situations. It also impacts your productivity at work, and it definitely impacts the people around you. And so having mental health and feeling in balance is a good thing. And it's always a pursuit. Sometimes they're better than others. You're never fully there. But understanding the resources that are available to you, and I just listed out 5 for you, those are really, really, really important. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. I would love to talk more about this. Even though Mental Health Month is ending with May, it doesn't mean that the conversation stops. And so obviously you can tell I'm a huge advocate for it and a believer in it. If you are interested in a therapist, I know 4 therapists personally, I can definitely give you a recommendation, but you can also seek your friends out and ask them for recommendations, because more than likely, they have somebody they've seen or are seeing currently. So that wraps up our Mental Health Awareness Month, body of work and set of conversations around this. Looking forward to a new set of topics next month. But again, we have hard work to do, brothers. And so keep improving.